Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. All about nutrition from your favorite dietitian. Everything you need to digest in your mind. Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. Making you healthier one bite at a time. With Tony. Woo.
Hello, and welcome to the Tips with Tony podcast. I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time. I'm so excited for our next guest. I have virtually in front of me, Matt Bandelar. And by the way, Matt, I never actually usually say last names because I usually butcher them, but yours sounded really fun to say. So just put it in there.
It's a tongue twister for sure. People always butcher it. Like Bandelar. And
Did I do it good? Did I do it right?
You nailed it.
I honestly, like, if you look, this is almost like 300 and something episodes. I've never say people's last names because I'm always afraid of ruining.
I'm honored.
But anyways, Matt, I'm so excited to have you here. Matt considers himself a no BS coach, and I love that.
Yes.
He has his own podcast as well, Cut the Crap, with Beth, who you heard last week from. You heard about her from last week. We talked about healing your relationship with food and alcohol. So if you didn't take a listen to that, definitely go back and listen. But Matt is here today to talk very similarly about what we talked about last week about that no BS stuff. Things you might see in the gym, influencers you might see online. We call them quote unquote gym bros. Maybe the advice you shouldn't be listening to, maybe some more helpful advice. I know Matt's going to be really informative and educational for you guys to give you some things that you can do. But we always like to also talk about what maybe we shouldn't be following. What are some things that we should question that we see on the internet? But anyways, Before we get into that, Matt, just please introduce yourself, share who you are, what you do, and most importantly, why you do what you do.
Absolutely. So like you said, I am a no BS health coach. I'm here to help you be strong, fit, and confident. I run an online health and wellness coaching business as well. Dedicated to helping people break free from fad diets and diet culture and just improving their health, by eating foods that we enjoy and finding movement that we enjoy and just working through kind of like this mindset of self-sabotage and the all or nothing mindset that so many people suffer from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what got you into that?
It's been a journey for sure. I haven't always been focused on that, but I started coaching, back in 2016 or so as a personal trainer when my dad got, he came down with a stroke. He had a stroke. It was nothing serious, but it's just a minor stroke, but it was a wake up call for him nonetheless,
Yeah.
So he turned to me. I was, I was doing strength training for a few years at that point, and he wanted to start working out with me. And so I took him under my wing, got him into the gym with me, started getting him strong, improving his health. And to me, like just seeing that, seeing him kind of improve his health via weight training, and he did the nutrition stuff on his own and cleaned up his diet and things like that. But just seeing the confidence that gave him with improving the quality of his life with movement, it's truly powerful.
That's great. Yeah, no, I know. It's so cool to see, people around you change when they just start taking small steps, changing their habits, adopting things.
Absolutely.
So cool.
Absolutely.
That's so cool. So, okay. And then in your own personal journey, I feel like I've seen you post things on TikTok about stuff of where you too have changed. Even, you did strength training and you did that, but your nutrition probably you altered that as well. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so I haven't always been into strength training. When I first started working out, I did it for what I call all the wrong reasons, essentially. Working out to please other people, to try to get this physique that I thought I needed to have in order to get the girlfriend and the girls and everything. Like I was going through a divorce at the time, so that was a priority for me for some reason at the time, bad priority to have. But so I did that. I started running and I realized I hated running, and I started doing all these fad diets and everything like that. I cut out all soda, I cut out fast food. I started doing keto and intermittent fasting and things like that. And all that did for me was really just make me unhappy. Like, what was I doing it for? And why am I doing this? So I kind of had a finally aha moment, after one relationship ended. I'm like, I got everything that I thought I needed to do. Like I got the six pack, I got the biceps and the chiseled chest and everything. But so why am I single yet again, and unhappy?
Wow. Okay. I'm sorry, but I have to plug in my book here. It's just a perfect opportunity.
Yes.
Guys, if you have not gotten a copy of Once Upon a Diet, everything that Matt just said is everything I experienced in my life, just on the other side. So thank you for your transparency. And I always want people to understand, a lot of women listen to my podcast, a lot of clients. I'm sure you work with a lot of women as well. Yeah. I think it's just because we're more open about it, but men struggle with this stuff too. They believe that their appearance is somehow going to make life and their dating life, I don't even want to say easier, because of the society we live in, it can be easier because it helps more people to notice you, because we do live in an aesthetically, valued world. Yeah. However, it does not make you happier.
Right.
And I think that's the lesson that people need to learn. So if you haven't gotten a copy of my book on Amazon, Once Upon a Diet, please go get it. Absolutely. Because it will really kind of help you to understand everything that Matt just said, just obviously in greater detail. But thank you for sharing that, because that's so true. So you had it all. You had the 6-pack, you had the girl for a while, it sounds like, but then it didn't work out in the end because you realized that that's not everything. And also too, it sounds like you were kind of probably killing yourself to get that physique, where
6 days in the gym and 100 grams of carbs or less, meticulously tracking my macros, and worrying about that type of stuff just was a very lot of bad behaviors there for sure.
Definitely. So I have another personal question, if you don't mind. I recently saw some people are just trolls on the internet, on TikTok, where someone had commented like, why would I take advice from you? It doesn't even look like you lift or something. Ooh, and then you did the awesome. You came in there with like showing how you were like super strong and like lifting crazy amounts of weight and like how you do strength train, all that stuff. Yep. But can you did that trigger you at all? Like, I would love for you to elaborate on like, how do you handle, because you are very popular on TikTok, you even Instagram, social media, and then there's always those people that come in with the negativity and the ridiculousness, and just how do you handle it?
Yeah, it used to trigger me, I'll be honest with you, but I learned how to deal with that. Ultimately, those kind of comments are coming from a couple of different places. What I always say is, somebody's not going to try to bring you down if they're happy with themselves. So understanding that, for me, that was a game changer, So that's the best way that I handle trolls now. I love engaging with trolls though, because they're great for engagement and
they're great for content.
Great for content.
Your best content comes from
I will feed the trolls.
But, just the dumber you are, go to Matt's page and make all the comments, because he's going to be happy to challenge you on it.
Absolutely. And I love it. And I used to engage with those as a way to defend myself. Like, why the hell am I defending myself to this user 1, 2, 3, 4 with no profile picture, no information about them whatsoever? Clearly, they're a troll. Why am I
hiding behind a screen? Yep.
And on your note about like, I don't even look like I lift. Like, what? I'm actually really proud of that. I've made videos about that. Like, I'm not jacked. I am here to promote a overall healthy lifestyle, well-balanced lifestyle. For me, I'd rather go hiking than go to the gym. I'd rather go to the beach than go to a muscle building convention or something, and not only that, but like, health doesn't have a look, right?
Yes.
Just because like you can be super shredded and super lean and have that 6-pack, and guess what? You can be very unhealthy. Yeah. You can be in a larger body without any of those, the definition of things like that, and you can be incredibly healthy. So just by looking at somebody or looking at the number on the scale, you're not going to be able to tell like this person's a physical specimen. It doesn't work that way. So to me, a really good indicator of overall health is being strong. So that was my clapback for that person. They're like, why would we take advice from you when you clearly don't even take your own advice? Well, guess what? I just deadlifted 500 pounds. So,
The mic drop right there.
Right. Yeah. No caption necessary. I'll just leave this right here.
Oh, God. I love it. So, okay. So actually, I love that you brought up being strong and strength training. And I know you and Beth I love that you guys, Matt, quickly just shout out your Instagram and TikTok handle.
Yep. So it's Matt Larfit on Instagram and TikTok, MattLaarfit on TikTok and Instagram. So.
Okay, so I'll put that in the show notes, but recently you and Beth got together and started doing content together. So you had the podcast together, but now you got together. And the more recent one I just saw with you and Beth was so funny. You're being the coach. She's like, I'm afraid to lift healthy. Am I going to get bulky? So let's speak to the people who, I have been hearing actually, let's back up a bit. Why is strength training important? Why do we want to be strong? Let's actually start there. And then we'll talk about those who might be intimidated getting themselves starting with that process.
Absolutely. So there are many benefits to strength training at all stages of our life. Obviously, we want to start earlier rather than later, but it's never too late to get started. This is what I want people to understand as well. It doesn't matter if you're 50, 60, even 70, it's never too late. As we age, right, the development and maintenance of our muscle mass becomes even more important for overall health, to counteract illness, to maintain bone density, preventing falls, slips, decreasing the rate of neuromuscular balance deterioration, just overall improving our well-being. For instance, like sarcopenia, right? Which is a syndrome that's, progressively and generalized loss of skeletal muscle mass and strength. And that's directly related to all-cause mortality and poor quality of life and physical disability. So when I tell people to strength train, we need a strength training, I'm not doing it because you guys need to be jacked and get big muscles and everything like that. No, we're just doing it because we want to be healthy. We want to live a longer, more fulfilling life doing the things that we enjoy. So and strength training comes in many forms. You don't have to go to the gym and lift weights to do that. It's just one of the best ways to do it, but there's other ways of going about it.
Yeah. So, let's talk about that. So what are other ways other than, because that's what people think of, which we can talk about how to get more comfortable in the gym. We'll get there. How to, if you, we'll talk about that in a second, but there are other ways. So how can somebody be confident that they're sort of quote unquote strength training without having to lift a physical dumbbell?
Yeah. So we could lift resistance bands, use resistance bands at home are a great option, especially with the pandemic the last 2 years. That's been a godsend for many people. So just getting some resistance bands and doing basic things like squatting and lunging and doing a deadlift with a resistance band. It's all possible. Doing push-ups and pull-ups and things like that. You can also do calisthenics. You can use your body weight to manipulate your body weight to get stronger. So you can make great progress with just your body weight at home. You don't got to go to the gym. A lot of people are uncomfortable with the gym. So that's a great way to get started for many people. It can also just be literally just finding some things that you enjoy in life. Maybe it's dancing or hiking. You can get stronger doing those. Dancing, you're going to be really improving your balance and your motor skills and your core strength. And that's going to all improve the quality of your life. So there's lots of ways to do it. And especially something right now that's really popular, especially in females, which I love, is pole dancing. Doing that, that requires so much strength and coordination. And I've got a lot of clients that actually do that. I probably have 3 to 5 clients that do it. And the confidence it gives them is amazing, and the strength it gives them is amazing.
No, absolutely. Thank you. I actually had a guest maybe about a month or so ago who said that she started doing that. And she's a coach. And then when she said that, I started noticing it more. It's kind of when it's look for the yellow car and now you see all the yellow cars. So she started doing it. So now I see other people doing it. And it's definitely something that I can see for women, especially, that would help them to gain self-confidence. And it's hard. I mean, you're lifting your own body weight on a pole. That's really
very hard. Yeah.
So I love that. So making it in something that you enjoy, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, lifting weights and putting that down. Exactly. With that said, maybe someone listening is interested in that. So how does somebody, you mentioned they might be intimidated, they might not go to the gym. I feel like a lot of that has to do with the gym bros. Gym bros make it really hard because they almost have this, it's when you go in their space, it's you're in my space. It's and then, you might get judged for not knowing what you're doing.
Right.
What can we let's back one more time. What's a gym bro and what do we need to watch out for from them?
So a gym bro, I guess gym bro definitely doesn't have a look. So we can't just look at somebody. Just like with health doesn't have a look. A gym bro is more of a mindset. And I like to characterize it as toxic masculinity, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's the way people treat others in the gym, the way they make them feel. So the gym, should be for everybody. It should be a welcoming, safe place for everybody. Unfortunately, not everybody agrees with that because they think they're better than others. I've been lifting I've been lifting weights longer than you, or you're overweight, or you're old, you shouldn't be here. This is
or you're not strong enough yet. I saw another one of those posts where someone said if you're not lifting 100 pounds or more, you shouldn't even be in squat rack or something.
Yeah, which that one really triggered me. I made a couple of videos about that one.
It's like, how do you get there?
How do you get there? Exactly. And these people, maybe they were blessed with just squatting when they were born, and squatting already 135 pounds, but most people, they start with body weight squats, and then they start with the bell or a broomstick. You can start with a broomstick to work on your mobility.
Yeah, form is more important than
above all else.
Actual numbers. Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
oh
you can literally take a really seasoned bodybuilder can take the lightest weight out there and manipulate it in a way that it's super, super challenging and get great results from that. So that just shows a lot of just a disconnect with reality when somebody says something like that. So it's just that toxic mindset, judging other people. I will say, I feel like most people in the gym don't care what you're there to do, and they're not judging you, even though you might think that they are. They're not. The gym anxiety, of course, is a real thing, and it's hard to work through, but it's possible. So I guess some things for kind of getting started in the gym.
What would be if someone is struggling with that gym anxiety and they picture that every time they go to the gym, there's going to be all the gym bros and everyone's going to be staring at them. How can we help them through that?
So it definitely helps to have a plan ahead of time. And also understand fitness and strength training and things like that. It's not sexy in a way. What I mean by that, it's the movements that you see on Instagram and YouTube where people are doing Bosu balls, squats and things like that. Throw that all out the window. You don't need to be doing that. That's clickbait. They're doing that to give views. Okay. The general public does not need, nobody needs to be doing that really. So throw that out the window. And there's lots of free resources out there too, if you need to have a plan ahead of time. Bodybuilding.com is a really good one. YouTube has some good ones as well, even though I just said disregard that, but you just have to know how to find it essentially. Yeah. But it also can be very beneficial to work with a coach in those kinds of situations as well. Not everybody needs to work with a coach, but I feel like most people can benefit from working with a coach. I've worked with an online coach myself, and I actually currently still have an online coach for my strength training, for my strength programming, because I don't want to be bothered with it, But if you are doing it on your own, research the gym ahead of time. Become familiar with all the equipment that they have in the gym. So maybe that just means going to the gym and walking on the treadmill for 20 minutes a day for a week until you just get comfortable with your surroundings. Take some headphones with you, shut the world off, and put your head, hood up if you need to. If you're wearing a hoodie, just kind of black out the world around you and just be there to be present and be focusing on yourself. Understanding what the equipment is and what it does is very beneficial. So most gyms will give you a walkthrough of all the equipment, explaining how to work it and how to use it and what it does. And most gyms will also give you a free personal training session as well to get started. Just be aware that they'll likely try to sell you on a PT package after that, but under no obligation to accept that. I mean, maybe you do, but there isn't anything wrong with that. Like I said, many people can benefit from having a coach, but essentially it's research ahead of time, get comfortable with it, read about it, watch videos, see how people are moving and things like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's very helpful. And I just, as a reminder to everybody listening, anything that's new is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel off. But you get better at it by doing it. You know, the more you go, then you'll become more and more familiar. Nobody starts as an expert. Yeah,
unless you're a child prodigy or something, but
but even they still got to put in the practice and in the work and
own their skill. Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
And to kind of add on to that a little bit, we want to focus on the basics, just like we want to focus on the basics with nutrition and lifestyle. We want to focus on the basics. So there's 7 basic human movements that we should be looking at to work on. So that's squatting, hinging. So that's something like a deadlift, bending over, picking things up, pushing. So pushing things away from our body, pushing things up over our head, pulling. So pulling things towards our body, pulling ourselves up to something, lunging, rotating, twisting, and then gait, which is walking. So those are the 7 basic things that a good workout program will consist of. And if we just focus on doing literally one movement of each of those things, you can get great results and really improve your health.
I actually really love that, because even as you were going through them, I was thinking of the workouts that you could do.
Yeah, totally.
Basic, a squat, a deadlift. The last one I was thinking a farmer's carry.
Farmer's carry are fantastic. Yeah.
Push up, pull up.
Pull-ups.
What were the? I feel like that's 5.
Lunge. So a lunge.
Lunges. You could do forwards, backwards, sideways.
Yeah, sideways. Yeah, definitely sideways. I love that you said that because now you're really getting into all planes of movement there and all different angles.
Yeah.
That's the important part to understand too, is do these exercises and movements from different angles and different patterns so that we're working the muscles in a different way, especially as it pertains to our back. We want to work from high pulls, mid pulls, and lower pulls and things like that. So, and then there was rotation. So twisting, literally it could be throwing something, you're twisting. There's that motion there. So that would be something like a Russian twist or something like that.
Yeah. I love that, guys. So yeah, keep it simple.
Yes.
Keep it simple. I feel like and even you're like you said with nutrition, people like overcomplicate things, but really just focus on the basics and you could always build off of that, but you probably don't even need to. So, okay, I'm going to throw this question at you because it just came to me and I feel like the listeners are thinking it like, how much is enough? How much strength training should someone do to get strong?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's not 6 days a week. It's not, for most people, it's not 5 days a week, It's individualized to everybody. Their goals, where they're coming from. And the most important piece is their time. Like, what can they reasonably commit to the gym? So when I start working with clients, they're usually trying to go 5 days a week, but what really happens is they go 2 or 3 days a week and then they start beating themselves up because they can't go those other days of the week. Right. So scale it back. Optimally, I would say 3 to 4 days a week for 45 minutes to 60 minutes each session. Now, some people can only go to the gym 2 days a week. Some people can only go to the gym 1 day a week. And guess what? That's okay. That 1 day would be better than doing 0 days. So I have this saying, like, something is better than nothing. So ideally 3 or 4 days for 45 minutes to 60 minutes. But
of all strength training, you're saying?
Yeah,
if they really want to increase their strength, you're saying. So the difference. So I think what you're saying, and I could be wrong, but there's a difference between just like general maintenance versus like trying to increase and get stronger. Yeah,
absolutely. So if you want to get stronger, then 3 or 4 days will be the best bet for you. But just maintaining, you could maintain your current levels of strength with 1 or 2 days a week, even.
Yeah, of like that 45 minutes to an hour. Yes, that's absolutely cool. Very cool.
Like a full body workout once a week, something like that.
Working all the different planes of motion, those 7 basic things, 1 to 2 times a week for 45 minutes. And even so guys, like, start with what you can do consistently, and then you can always build off of that. Don't overwhelm yourself, right? Like that all or nothing mentality, I feel like throws off so many people.
It really does. And we're just so conditioned to believe that like more is better, more is more, Well, when it comes to many things, especially as it comes to working out, like work smarter, not harder. And, less is actually better. And just same thing with like nutrition, right? Like usually eating more calories and things like that is usually better. And less is not better in that situation, So.
Definitely. So, okay. So we're almost done with, even though this has been a great conversation. You speak a lot about like being true to yourself when reaching your goals. Can you talk about why that's so important and what that even means? Like, how does somebody know that they're being true to themselves as they're trying to reach their goals, their health and fitness goals?
That's a good question. It's a tough question to answer, but ultimately being true to yourself, like, this is your life, right? It's no one else's. So hopefully you're doing this for you, not for other people, not for external reasons. Now, maybe that's your family as well, which is a great reason to do it, improve your health for your family. But you only get one life to live. So why not make the most of it while we're here? Life is too short to be depriving ourselves of our favorite foods, to not eat cake for our birthday or on a Wednesday afternoon if we wanted to, it's just way too short for that. So being true to yourself it's very freeing. The stress and anxiety that living your life and doing it for other people is so intense. So just letting go of that. It's hard to do. It's not just like, just be true to yourself, be your true self. No, first of all, you have to discover who the hell you are in the first place. So when you live your life for others, they'll never be happy ultimately too. So no matter what you do and what you accomplish in your life, if you're doing it to serve others and give to others, they're never going to be happy. They're going to continue taking. And what happens when we're doing that, because we are givers, most people are givers by nature. I'm a giver. I like to help people and please people and things like that. We're going to continue giving. We're going to continue giving until we crash and burn. We burn out. Then we have, stress and depression and just overall poor quality of life. And we won't be able to give anymore because we just have no more to give. It's debilitating.
Yeah. So put it yourself first. That's what I'm hearing. I'm saying put yourself first. And when you do that, you'll learn what is it that you need and want. And that's how do you be authentic? Well, when you spend time with you, when you put yourself first, when you figure out what makes you feel good, it'll be a whole lot more clear on what you need to do for you. Yes. And then you can set goals that are realistic and sustainable and based off of your values rather than just based off of this, like what you think you should be doing or this aesthetic thing that you think is going to somehow make you happier. And like bring it full circle from what we were sharing in the beginning. It's like, you're going to, if you only are fixated on like a physical goal, an aesthetic goal, there's nothing wrong with having an aesthetic goal. But the question is like, who is it for? What are you trying to prove? Yeah, exactly. Is it really for you? Or is it really because maybe like for me, I was hurt as a child for being overweight. I was like my whole life feeling like I needed to prove myself as that I was worthy because I attached my weight to my worth. That's because of the story that I learned in my childhood. But when I detached from that, now I take care of my body and I do things for me because I genuinely want to. And when I decide to pick up my strength training and all that, it's because I want to be strong. It's because, I might want to look a little bit tighter and leaner, but I'm not doing anything rigid or restrictive. And it's truly because I choose to do it because I want to, because I can, because it makes me feel good. Not for outside validation or to prove it to anyone or to show it on social media. None of that. When
you do those things for yourself too, you'd be surprised by what can happen with your body and what changes can happen in your body too. Nothing's guaranteed, but like, why not try it? You've been trying all these other things for all these years. So why not do something for ourselves for once? And your family and your friends and your career will be thankful for that too, because you're going to show up as the best version of yourself once you start prioritizing yourself a little bit. Just a few hours a week is all it takes. Yeah, I love it. I love this. Focus on just being stronger inside and out. Yes. That's what I'm hearing from this. Absolutely. I love it. Amazing. All right, Matt. Well, I know that anything else actually before we wrap up? I know we're going to talk about you have a group coaching program coming out pretty soon, but before that, any last minute kind of tips, takeaways, comments? No, I don't think so. You perfectly nailed it there. So yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it was so great having you. So tell everybody about have a group coaching program coming up. Yes. Take it away. Okay. So we are doing a group coaching program. This will be round 2, starting April 24th, the last Monday in April. We're calling it the body and mindset connection, body and mind connection, essentially, with myself and Coach Mel on our team. So Coach Mel is a licensed therapist, and she's going to be there to help you become a mindful eater and move away from dieting and things like that. So if you're interested in becoming a mindful eater, that would be perfect for you. And on my side, I'm going to be focusing on body. So everything we just talked about here today, we're going to be working on improving our functional fitness, our mobility, improving our health with strength training and finding movement that we enjoy. It's body neutral. So we're not going to be there for any weight loss or fat loss goals or anything like that. That stuff can happen as a result of the stuff we do, but that's not what we're there to do. So I love it. That sounds amazing. I'm so glad that there's other people out in the universe putting out, helpful content and helpful programs like that. So, all right. So how does somebody get in contact with you if they are interested in joining that? Absolutely. So my website is fitfattraining.com. You can go there for more details or send me a DM on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, which is Matt Larfit. Amazing. All right. I'll put all that information in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here, Matt. Everyone listening, make sure you give Matt a follow. Make sure you take a screenshot of this episode. Tag me on Instagram. Tag Matt on Instagram. Love it. Share it with a friend, if you feel like this could help someone. And if you're not subscribed to the Tips with Tony podcast, definitely hit that subscribe button. A new episode comes out every Tuesday and Thursday. And when you're subscribed, you don't miss a beat. All right, that is it from us today. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time.